Sauce Taxenspendus, one of the geriatric members of Geriatric Park. I don't know if you people have heard this or not, but we have a little radio spoof running on Jurassic Park, Geriatric Park. It's about how the DNA of old New Deal liberals has been cloned and all these monsters have been created for a theme park, Geriatric Park, but you got to watch it when you go there because they pick your pocket and all kinds of things these months. And a lot of people, you know, we serve Geritol flavored Snapple at our movie premiere. And a lot of people want to know, well, how did you clone these guys? Where did you get the DNA? We got it from the nose hair of Senator Cranston. We found some DNA and we cloned that. Hey, I'm glad you're with us. We have a lively audience is fighting with each other already here, folks. We'll try to keep them in control for the duration of the program. Here is Dee Dee Myers. She actually says some things here that sound more cogent than usual. They're no more true than they ever have been, but at least more cogent. We have a cute little Clinton. In fact, let me be honest with you about this. It's getting, if somebody suggested to me, you know, you could do a whole show on Clinton every night. Why don't you just do the lie of the week as a feature and then just leave it at that? And I said, because that wouldn't, I mean, a lie a week, we wouldn't cover 1/10 of the lies if we did it. So we need the lie of the day. Now this is Congressperson Patsy Schroeder. She's all upset. She's a member of Congress, and she was one of those walking the plank for the president. They're sawing the plank off while the ship is sinking. No, bring it back. Don't make her look any better than necessary. Bring it back. Bring it back. I want to show you her. This is Patsy Schroeder. Can we not bring that back? There it is. She's happy in this picture. This is one of her better moments. This is footage from Montreal. There was rioting in Montreal after the Montreal Canadiens beat the Los Angeles Kings for the Stanley Cup of the National Hockey League. This riot proves that my plan to make the world more competitive is working. I'll explain this later on in the program. As you know, in Washington, maybe you don't know, Wednesday night was the premiere down there of Jurassic Park, and a bunch, I think this is great, Democrats go to a movie about dinosaurs which are extinct in reality. And it was a fundraiser. You know what it was a fundraiser for? It was a fundraiser for the Children's Defense Fund, which is where probably about half of the Justice Department in this country came from. It's where they found the nominees. And they had little cards on the table after the movie premiere. You go down and sit down, and the cards were just like you get cards in the mail from magazines and the Republican National Committee, Democratic National Committee, they want you to contribute X amount to the cause, and there are little boxes you can check off. I send in $250 because I really care about saving America. Or I send in $25 because I think it'd be okay to save America. I can't afford to send anything, but I care. You know, you got these various check boxes. Well, at this party, what they did was, I'm a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Here's my 50 grand. I'm a Triacerops. Here's my 25 grand. And I thought, how perfect. Democrats walking in to contribute to some fund, the Children's Defense Fund, as dinosaurs, which are extinct. I mean, I thought the irony of this was just hilarious. Democrats going along with their own extinction. We had our man in Washington at this premiere. He talked to some of the stars about Hollywood's influence with this administration. Here's what they had to say.
Why do you think the Hollywood community has come under such criticism of President Clinton for his involvement with Hollywood celebrities?
I have no idea. As far as the pictures and the music that we turn out, we have a balance of payments surplus. We export a lot better than a lot of our domestic manufacturing and industry is doing. I don't know why people are criticizing. I think we should have access, don't you? You should have taken us to Japan. I think it would have worked better.
For some absurd reason, people like to pick on people. I've never understood this. I think that it should be a prerequisite for the President of the United States to be in touch with any representatives of our culture in whatever art form that be. I know I would want my president to be in touch with film and art and you know, any work that's considered artistic. So I'm thrilled, you know, that he's aware of what the masses want.
I think it's highly unreasonable for the president to be accused of over-involvement with any one sector of our society. I think the cultural community has an awful lot to offer. Not only have they been very supportive of politics and progressive politics, but they have given a lot.
Well, I just think there's a lot of unfair criticism of President Clinton. I just think the press is giving him a tough time. He's certainly making some mistakes, but he's getting settled into this job, and people ought to give him a chance.
Why do you think the Clinton administration has received so much criticism for its involvement with Hollywood celebrities?
Because they couldn't think of anything else to criticize us about.
I'd much rather have him be his friends than be running the government, so I don't quite get it. I think maybe people are just jealous.
They don't have a grip, folks. They've lost their grip on reality. That's an example of why. I mean, they're Americans and they can say what they want, but we don't have to listen to them. Do you know, you do have a First Amendment right to free speech, but nobody has to listen to it? There is no First Amendment right to be heard. Have you ever thought about that? This is mindless pap. This is psychobabble. This is absolute drivel. Do you want a president who's first and foremost concerned with arts, culture, especially as defined by this bunch of wackos? I mean, and here's Shalala, because they don't have anything else to criticize us about? Come on, lady. Gee, get real. I remember Laura Dern. How old did she look to you there? About 40? Just kidding. I don't know how old she is. It doesn't matter because I'm not a sexist. But I remember watching her on a Donahue show. And I got to be very careful. Brother Phil and I, syndicated by the same company, but she was on a Donahue show and she lost it. She was she's the only guest, and do you know what she's crying about? Because she didn't think that we adults understood the hideous threat that kids her age grow up with, the specter of nuclear destruction. And she was like, you don't understand this, you don't understand this. And if we don't understand you, it's to our credit that we don't understand you. And now Bob Kerrey. Senator Bob Kerrey was also at the premiere of Jurassic Park. Our man in Washington now identifies the show from which he comes, the show he's representing. But back in the early days of this show, our man in Washington snuck in everywhere and didn't tell anybody where he's from. Kerry recognized our man in Washington. This is the second time we've talked to him. The first time he said stuff he probably wouldn't have said if he'd have known it was going to be on this show. So now he recognized our man in Washington. Now, if you, these guys, the thing is, they give themselves away. They unmask themselves, and the secrets of the way they really think come out on this show. Take a look at this answer to the question.
Anything to rush then?
Sorry, I missed your bake sale.
Yeah, you're right, you're right.
What about the bake sale?
I heard it was a great bake sale. I mean, it's right next door. People traveling through. Good for taxes in Nebraska. Keep it up.
Good for taxes in Nebraska. Not good for commerce, not good for the restaurants. All these people had to drive through Nebraska to get to Colorado to get to the bake sale. They stay at hotels. The hotel industry does well. You got to eat when you stop at a state, even if it's Nebraska, where it's run by Bob Kerrey. So eat, whoever sells you the food, produces the food, you do well. Here's a guy in government, a Democrat, great for taxes in Nebraska. Is there any doubt that he's a Democrat? Now, one other thing. As you know, Congressman Dan Glickman from Washington, the state of Washington, criticized me and Ross Perot the other night on the House floor. Actually, the other day, we showed you a tape the other night. He criticized us for denigrating the office of the presidency, and we played the tape and made appropriate comments. Hey, we're not in the office. We can't denigrate it. We're not the president. We cannot harm the office. Only the guy there can do that, and he is. But so Congressman Glickman, now hang on. Congressman Glickman from Nevada sent me this fax. He says, Dear Rush, there it is. There is a picture of it. Dear Rush, I thought you might like to know that thanks to your very public chiding, you've made me very much in demand. I'm getting calls from all over the country. I've had numerous invitations, many queries, dozens of propositions, several requests, and about 29 recommendations. Unfortunately, most of them have been to keep my mouth shut. As you and I both know, that can be a very difficult request to heed. I also wanted to thank you for displaying your keen sense of fair play by correcting your slip regarding the state I represent. We Kansans are pretty sensitive about references to our state, even when it is mixed up with the great state of Texas. Midwestern pride and stubbornness generally forces us to weigh in when our home state is maligned or omitted. Break a leg. Best regards, Dan Glickman. Did I say he was from Texas? I never did. I have always said he's from Kansas. I know he's a congressman from Kansas. I don't understand this. Never said, I didn't say it. I deny ever saying, you know, it's the media's fault they reported it. I didn't ever say that he was from anywhere other than California. Back in just a moment with the rest of our show.
Did Angela Lansbury divorce her husband because she found out he was gay?
I want to know.
Did Whitney Houston fly to Hawaii with her sick baby to save her marriage? Exclusive photos are in The Inquirer. Is 39-year-old Seinfeld in a romance with this high school senior? Is Ted Danson's wife filing for divorce after finding his secret love letters?
It's in this week's Inquirer.
How can you look younger and feel better? Find out in this week's Inquirer, filled with fascinating features for people with inquiring minds.
Like me.
Hooked on Phonics worked for me. Hooked on Phonics worked for me. Hooked on Phonics worked for me. Hooked on Phonics works for me. Hooked on Phonics worked for me.
Learn to read with Hooked on Phonics, the musical reading program. Then, read to learn with SRA reading comprehension used by over 60 million people.
Hooked on Phonics worked for me.
Call 1-800-ABCDEFG.
This summer reminder is brought to you by Pepsi. Better get yours before Shaq gets it all.
Hang your hat in a Steenberg home for under $200 per month, less than rent. 500 homes statewide, liquidation price, with the lowest financing in 20 years. Why swallow a big rent payment? Move into a newer used manufactured home and pay less. Liquidation prices won't last long, so hurry. Don't let rent take a big bite out of your budget. Hang your hat in your own home for under $200 per month.
Best buy in the Midwest, Steenberg Homes.
Appleton, Fond du Lac, Manitowoc, Stevens Point, and Peshtigo.
As you know, Dee Dee Myers, I think I mentioned this to you once before. I went to the White House Correspondents' Dinner, which was on May 3rd this year, and I ran into a lot of administration folk. One of the people I ran into was Dee Dee. And Dee Dee, you know how when you meet somebody and you don't know them, but you do know them, you talk about them all the time, they know who you are. I mean, she obviously knows who I am, I know who she is. And it's, oh, what if we finally meet and so forth. So you make the perfunctory move that the situation dictates, a little peck on the cheek, hi Dee Dee, both sides. She didn't move her lips out of the way. And so, well, I was not trying to kiss her on the lips, but it's what ended up happening. Yeah, it did. It really did. And she said, you know, you're having too much fun at our expense. But she was really nice, and I think she likes me because I understand the pressures that she's under. Imagine Bill Clinton being your boss and telling you to go out and say in public what she has to say every day. That's a tough job, and so we've always been on Dee Dee's side. And we've shown some tape of Dee Dee when she's not looked so hot, but this is a piece of tape. Dee Dee is the White House Communications Director, or the press spokesman, in the press room, explaining a little bit about the fate of the president's economic package as it went from the House to the Senate. Here's Dee Dee looking good.
We didn't expect the Senate to vote for the House version of the bill, and we certainly don't expect the House to accept the Senate version of the bill. That's what the conference process is about. I think the President made clear through the House process that he was committed to some principles, including a broad-based energy tax. He proposed a BTU tax. He thought that that was the best way to achieve something that was fair and balanced and affected different parts of the country equally, but he wants the process to go forward.
Principles. That's always a problem for this administration. When anybody that has to talk about the principles of the president, they get tongue-tied. It is a definite problem that they're having. Now, what this is all about is a BTU tax. As you know, it started out, and they were all for this, man. And what Didi's trying to say is, hey, wait a minute. Well, he really wasn't married to that. I mean, no, it was. He knew that the bill in the House wasn't going to survive as it went to the Senate, and he didn't think that it had to. He's interested in the principles. Now, meanwhile, the Congressional Black Caucus and Patsy Schroeder, because well, Patsy will explain it here in just a second. But let's show you Clinton explaining what Didi just said. Here's his version of the same thing.
I have not signed off on any energy proposal in the Senate yet. I believe that the proposal we made is the best one we have. But neither they nor I have a vote on the Senate Finance Committee. And let me say that in the end, the most important thing is that we bring the deficit down, that we cut spending, that we raise taxes on the wealthy, and that we invest money to grow this economy. That's the most important thing. We've got to find a way to do that consistent with what has happened already. And I'm very encouraged. I don't think the American people shouldn't be upset by what's going on. And the House, they should go talk to their senators if they have a different view. And they want them to take a different view toward these particular taxes. That's what I'm trying to do, is to get the House and the Senate to work together before the Senate Finance Committee even votes.
He's telling the members of the House of Representatives, hey, don't come to me. Don't talk to me about this. Go talk to your senator. When's the last time you ever heard that? Tell your congressman to go talk to your senator. Hey, and then he hits the campaign trail. We got to get the deficit down. And we got. This is so fun. Well, we have to take a break. We'll show you what Pat Schroeder thinks of all this in a moment. Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. My friends, even I was surprised by this one. In the June issue of the Limbaugh Letter, my monthly newsletter, we have a Limbaugh Institute exclusive called Lies, Lies. This report reveals the Clinton administration's massive violations of truth and how Clinton has buried his old campaign promises under an avalanche of new falsehoods. Your free copy of Lies, Lies, available only with a Limbaugh Letter. Call now, 800-235-8900 for the low rate of $29.95.
Problem: dark circles and under-eye puffiness. The solution: sudden change under-eye smoother. Watch as the appearance of dark circles and puffiness are being smoothed away. Look years younger in minutes. Try sudden change under-eye smoother.
I've got news. New Contact Day and Night Allergy Sinus Formula. Non-drowsy day caplets to relieve congestion and sinus pain, plus night caplets to relieve your symptoms so you can rest. New Contact Day and Night Allergy Sinus. The right medicine at the right time.
American, where you get the low price.
And so much more.
And until 9 Saturday, everything's on sale at American. Every camcorder and TV on sale. A giant 25-inch sharp, just $269. Every home stereo, car stereo, every camera and boombox on sale. Like a Sanyo CD boombox, only $79.
And professionals with answers that make it easy to compare.
Every computer, every washer and dryer, every refrigerator on sale. Everything is on sale. Everything.
American.
Everything.
Scaled it, jumped it, skied it, surfed it. Rode it, dove it, flew it, crashed it. Never slammed it, never guzzled it. You've never done nothing till you do Diet Dew. Did it, dug it, savored it, relished it. Hey man, let's do this again.
Welcome back. You are watching Rush Limbaugh, the television show. Glad you're with us today, tonight, whenever you happen to be watching. All right, Patsy Schroeder, we showed you her at the beginning of the program. And she was asked the other day what she thinks. She's been in Congress for, that's so long. She's been there 80 years, right? She's been in Congress almost as long as Cranston was in Congress. And they asked her, so this is obviously new to her, because think of this, folks. Gridlock was supposed to be over. There was supposed to be no more gridlock. And as I pointed out, as I predicted, who is standing in his way? Congress. And who in the Congress? It's Democrats. So there is no end to gridlock, and it's the Democrats who are causing the gridlock. And Patsy Schroeder, she's the one who felt like she's out on that plank. Here is what she had to say about her reaction to President Clinton's handling of this problem.
I think it's scary for a 52-year-old kid.
What is that? What do you mean, scary for a 52-year-old? What does that have to do with it?
Oh, sorry, it's the wrong tape.
I mean, that must have been from Jurassic Park or something. Maybe it was scary for a 52-year-old kid. Who's she talking about anyway? Well, from the premiere? Well, I wonder what 52-year-old she was talking about. We have the right one? We have the right cut. Is it ready to go? We do have it now? Yes. Thank you. Roll it.
I think the House has been treated as one that was supposed to just get everything out and get it out very rapidly so they could then go deal with the Senate. And we were just supposed to be the grease skids. I didn't really like that, but you thought, well, you've got a new administration and maybe this is what they have to do. But at this point, I think that's the end of that game. My guess is there's so many unhappy members in there that you're never going to see them buy into that again. They're going to insist on being at the table from the very beginning.
Oh, she hear that? I think the Senate was just used to get the bill to the House was just used to get the bill to the Senate. And I'll tell you, they're not happy, and this is going to be very interesting to watch. The Congressional Black Caucus refused to meet with the president. They claim that they have nothing to say to him. They're upset about Lani Guinier and Medicare cuts that they don't like. I want to show you some footage. I want to talk over this. This was in Montreal last night. This is an amazing thing. There were riots in Montreal after the Montreal Canadiens defeated the Los Angeles Kings for the Stanley Cup Championship. Now, this is an amazing phenomenon. Your team wins and you destroy your town. This happened in Chicago when the Chicago Bulls won the NBA championship last year. And of course, it's reminiscent of the Los Angeles riots. Now, I want to remind you of a solution I have offered to a problem. Global competitiveness is doing the United States in many ways. And I have suggested that what we need to do is export our problems around the world so our competitors face the same kinds of problems. We need to export liberalism. We need an ACT UP office in Tokyo. We need a National Organization for Women office in Tokyo. We need a Queer Nation office in Tokyo. And we need to export riots. And my plan is working. We have now one less worldwide city to compete with, because they have just destroyed. Look at it. This is inexcusable. This is absolutely inexcusable. They're destroying, and you know what could have stopped this? Richard Daley in 1968 in the Democratic National Convention issued an order when there were rumors of riots. He issued the shoot-to-kill order. And there were no riots, and there was no civil disobedience, and no shots were fired, and nobody was hurt. And that's what ought to happen. Now, one more thing. We're going to pick the next city we want destroyed and suggest the NBA play the finals there. We'll be back in just a moment. Don't go away.
1 gram of fat, or 1 gram of fat. 1 gram of fat, or 1 gram of fat. Weight Watchers announces a first. Smart Ones, the only line of entrees with 1 gram of fat, like luscious chicken Mirabella. So why eat this when you can indulge in this? Smart Ones, 1 gram of fat, 1 smart choice. And try Weight Watchers light mayonnaise and light cheese slices. Rich, creamy taste at a great low price.
Are you tired of the liberal slant on news today? Now there's a choice. Rush Limbaugh has told you about the Conservative Chronicle. Now each week you'll enjoy credible, intelligent commentary from conservative columnists and cartoonists. You'll read insightful, crisply written opinions from syndicated columnists like George Will, Joseph Sobran, Gene Kirkpatrick, William Buckley, and more. Join the ranks of the truly informed. Subscribe to the Conservative Chronicle and get 52 issues for only $39. Money back guarantee. Call now and subscribe.
Hang your hat in a Steenberg home for under $200 per month, less than rent. 500 homes statewide, liquidation price, with the lowest financing in 20 years. Why swallow a big rent payment? Move into a newer used manufactured home and pay less. Liquidation prices won't last long, so hurry. Don't let rent take a big bite out of your budget. Hang your hat in your own home for under $200 per month.
Best Buy in the Midwest, Steenberg Homes.
Appleton, Fond du Lac, Manitowoc, Stevens Point, and Peshtigo.
I'm just saying that a big Chevy truck would add class to our driveway.
A new Lumina would add 1,000 cash back to our pockets.
Hey, Chevy trucks happen to be, and I quote, the most dependable, longest lasting trucks on the road. Plus, they've got the best resale value if we ever decide to sell it.
But a Lumina
And we could save up to $1,400 on this truck right now.
Get to your Chevy super dealers today and buy a Chevy
truck.
Lumina.
Truck.
Now, before these deals are gone.
She was, I guess, 9 when she gave it to me. And I traveled a lot back then, so it was like having a new daughter every time I came home. And that Father's Day, she came running in with this gift. I love my daddy, Lisa. She said, "Do you like it, Daddy?" Do I like it?
Come to Things Remembered in a mall near you for gifts that say something.
Here we go. All right, folks, my friends, as you know, the Congressional Black Caucus and a number of civil rights leaders have incurred anger. They're mad at the president because he sandbagged them on Lanny Guinier. I predict that he's got to make a move to get them back in his camp. I predict that he will move to make D.C. a state very, very soon. It was going to be a 3rd or 4th year project, but I assume he'll go forward now, and I would like to urge him to do it. We at this show have even put together a prototype state flag for the new state of D.C. There it is. That's Lanny Guinier's face on the state flag of D.C., and the slogan is, "Don't tread on me, sucker." A perfect flag for our nation's capital. The only one to help. See ya.
Services provided and promotional fees paid by the following. Rush Limbaugh's Wardrobe by Rochester, Big and Tall.